And I always say to people who ask, how do you maintain your longevity after nearly 3 and a bit years? Sorry, after nearly 2 and a bit years, sorry. I say, look, I'll be the voice of reason for those that want to listen.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
How beautiful.
All right. So I say that because it's the only way for me to want to be able to stay in the game, in that game. So and I say to my clients, one of the things that my motto is if they walk, if they take the first step, I walk with them. Okay. If they don't want to take the first step, we stay as it is. I'm not going to force the people that I work with to do what they don't want to do. In the end, they have to show their willingness and their readiness to be able to take those steps. And that's the reality of recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you've
like
got to put your feet in the room to
yeah,
start getting well.
yeah, that's right. Exactly. Exactly. That's what that's my experience of working as a peer worker. You know what I mean? And if they're not ready, that's okay. I'm not gonna whip myself for it because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, I've done what I can, and it's just not being reciprocated. That's okay because they're not ready.
Yeah.
And if they're not ready, then they can come back after and try again, and try again, and try again. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go into detail, but I had a similar experience recently with that. Okay, without going into too much information. All right.
Yeah.
Because I got to keep in mind my confidentiality with my clients, so I can't really talk about clients that I can't really deal with as well. So
Yeah. Maybe we'll stay clear of that. So tell us, there's a couple more questions I've got for you.
Yeah.
You mentioned about autonomy and about freedom.
Yeah.
Now, you obviously had a pretty free and cruisy 20s.
Yeah.
What does freedom look like to you now?
Freedom looks like, that's a good question. So if I was to gauge in my 20s where I just did not really care about life and doing the things whatever everyone else did, that was freedom for me. Because that absolved me of my responsibility to buy a house, to save money, to do a lot of things. And most of my 20s, I was destitute. I wasn't really working that much in my 20s. Okay, freedom now for me is more about the freedom to be able to live comfortably and to be free to choose to have discernment in life as well. To be discerning about or use discernment, in situations. You know what I mean? I definitely don't want to be told what to do and what to think and all that kind of thing. I want to be free. I want to be a free thinker in life. That's what freedom means to me. And I really want to be someone in the future that will play a massive role in being part of that of a broader spectrum of freedom that everyone gets to prosper.
Yes.